One race to go before we enter phase 2 of playoff season. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Iowa Speedway, where we get set to find out who is in and who is out in the round of 8. Welcome to the High Tide Racing League Guardian Premier Series. My name is Ola Ramble alongside Derek Watson. We bring you all of racing action from start to finish here on this absolutely fantastic Monday afternoon. Derek, it's of course playoff season, and what a season this one is anticipated to be. A hotly contested championship so far, and we are in for a good show.
Yeah, for a great show. I'm in for a great round of first 3 races. Of course, the road course last week shook some things up and had a pretty awesome run. So now we come here to this unique track at Iowa that's really come to NASCAR fame the past 3 or 4 years ago. And look at your point standings from only top 8 advance here, Nolan.
Only the top 8 are moving on, and right now, Nicholas Corcel is sitting just 5 points clear from a duo of Jeremiah Hobbs alongside Benjamin Lacey, just 5 points out of the mark. From there, down in 11th place, only 2 more points behind them is Brian Dees. Unfortunately for Kevin Foster, he needs effectively a miracle as he is sitting 13 points out, entering racing action here this afternoon. So, right now, Kevin Foster very much on the outside looking in. Anything can happen, but honestly, I think those chances to get in are very, very slim for Foster, but it is not impossible. We've seen crazier, and with 33 cars, it is still a real possibility.
Yeah, if someone, on that cut area has a bad night pretty early, this really, with 33 cars, this could shake up a lot of things. This is the positive and negative of a great car count in the league, right? You want to see lots of drivers show up, and it's awesome to see all these names. But what it does mean for a race like this is, very few drivers are safe right now. Because again, look at right there. Even at P7, P8, Kilrow, Carousel, if they have a bad night early, the odds of recovering and not letting Lacey and Hobbs and others get on around, that's going to be a difficult task all night long.
Of course, the Iowa Speedway, the sister track to the Richmond Raceway, also known as the Action Track Iowa, often dubbed as the short track that races like a speedway. And track conditions could not be more optimal tonight, right? 83 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty cool track surface, but right within that optimal area. Some lighter winds, 7 miles an hour to 8 miles an hour. Blowing up to the southeast, some light humidity in the air. The track's looking good right now, and I have a feeling that should make for probably one of the more exciting races we've had on the year if we can go green.
Yeah, and likely with it being 6:48 p.m. virtual sim time, that likely means this track's only going to get a little cooler as this race goes on, so we'll find some more grip that'll allow drivers to be more daring, more adventurous, and a little bit more needy for those points as this night goes on.
Well, we got 200 laps ahead of us here this afternoon. 33 cars have all qualified into the show here this afternoon. Practice currently underway, and we talk about, how this could be of a major consequence here to the field this afternoon. Looking out for drivers like Bassinger, Lacey, Hopp, and Thorpe. Those are the top 4 from the playoff contenders from the practice sessions. But, the times tell a story, right? It is an extremely tight grid here this afternoon. It's a track that by now everyone is familiar with. It's not the High Tide Racing League's first rodeo out here. With the top 9 being with about a tenth of a second separating them, it's going to be a slugfest this afternoon.
Well, and if, factor in the fact there's drivers who need to be aggressive tonight, who need to get every point possible. There's drivers who, are comfortable and may just want to go out and just win, just have fun. There's so many scenarios. There's probably, 3 or 4 different storylines to be told here. So I suspect all night long it's going to be a little wild across this track. See back to your top 20. But look, it's still only 0.2 of a second off here back through Ty Marasco. Ethan Sikorsky 19th. So Kevin Foster back there in 17th. There's some big names back through the field. If we cycle back here again, that's the wrong way. We'll go back to 21st. There we go. Nicholas Carousel, 21st, needs the points, right? So, some newcomers. Ronnie Norman's back in here. So this is going to be a wild night all night long. Jeremiah Hobbs, 29th on the board. You want to put yourself in the, proverbial, hole, come into a cutoff race, qualify 29th and see what happens.
Well, some drivers may very well be starting that far down the field, and we'll see who will be starting where and who will be in the Capert C Enter Racing Action here this afternoon as we set the paint for the starting grid of Racing Action here this afternoon from the Iowa Speedway. Starting on pole position then this afternoon, it's going to be Jesse Gordon, one of the rookies entering Racing Action this afternoon in the Batmobile. He starts alongside Mark Arthurs in number 12. Row number 2 then, we got Jaden Hoff, the Old School Racers 00. Started alongside fellow playoff contender Wyatt Walker. Top 3 separated by just 4 thousandths of a second. Row 3 headed up by Dustin Pink and Christopher Bassinger. They are tied for that 5th place spot going in, just proving how close the fight's going to be this afternoon. Playoff contender Benjamin Lacey starts alongside MFRD Racing's Ty Marasco up in 7th. Top 10 then closed out by Michael Keithley alongside MFRD driver Dalton Kilrow in 10th.
And going back in the P11 list, we'll find Austin McGill back there in that 78 Bass Pro Shops machine. He's next to Tanner Marr in a 44 back in P12. Then back into row 7, 13th and 14th belongs to David Lakey and Kevin Foster, the 84 and the 8 side by side. Cody Gibson in the 21, that Cheetos machine, next to Nicholas Carousel in number 40. Row here is 17th and 18th. That's Scott Shire and Brian Dees row 9. Sorry, my brain froze there for a second on the map. That's pretty embarrassing. And then back into row 10, we will find our next set of cars. That's Kyle Wellman in the 42, the Wild Man. He's next to Michael Thorpe Jr. back in P20.
21st place, we're going to have the likes of Eddie Hag alongside Larry Bell. Then back to row 12, it's Connor Gibson, playoff driver, deep in the field alongside Ethan Sikorsky. He got Ryan Philbrick, one of the rookies entering today, alongside Jonathan Canfield. Row number 14, it's John Williams and Ronnie Norman. And row 15, the top 30, closed out by Carter Phillips and Paul Satmary. It's Hobbs, Ashmore, and Loya to round out a 33-car field. The bottom 3 cars not putting down times. Jeremiah Hobbs in a critical position deep in the field.
Lots of drivers follow here, lots of cars, 33 cars. A big field for this race. The lights and the pace car out. We went 2 pace laps here at Iowa, and it's about to get exciting.
Well, we are happy you're joining us for Racing Action here on this fantastic Monday night. This one expected to be a very, very wild show. 200 laps of hard-fought, high-octane racing set to kick off, and it'll start off with Michael Jordan? Jesse Gordon, there we go. Starting up at the head
I do the same
field.
thing.
We got Michael Keithley. We could say I combined those 2 names together, but Gordon working his way out of turn numbers 3 and 4 as the field is set to rumble. Never mind, we're going to hold the start one more lap.
Hey, by the way, quick story I want to bring up here. We talked about being, in the hole or behind the 8 ball, whatever proverbial term you want to use. Due to the incident review system that is in place this season in the High Tide Racing League, Jeremiah Hobbs, end of line penalty to start this race. So as if starting towards the back wasn't bad enough, he'll start actually at the back, basically, this race. Jeremiah Hobbs, Paul Satmary, Adrian Loya are the cars to the end of line here, so as well as Jonathan Canfield, end of line. So those cars will be back further in the field than originally thought.
And quite a few drivers a bit deeper here in the field this afternoon. I know folks like Connor Gibson are needed to have some stellar runs if they want to make their way up to the field. Michael Thorpe Jr. also not safe. He will no doubt be looking a little bit more worried as well. The IRC pace car this time now pulls into pit road. We're happy to join us for Racing Action here on Monday night. Time to see who is into the round of 8 and who will be going home. It's go, go, go from Iowa! Coming off at turn number 4, Jesse Gordon getting away well. He leads lap number 1 to green. They are 2 by for second on back though through the field.
Lots of good racing here at this track. They'll support a multi-groove surface. So you see Christopher Bassinger to 15 up on the top, trying to make a move here, trying to get through the field. But on back, let him still 2 by 2 as far as the eye can see. And by the way, this is how fast a lap is. We're talking 28, 29 seconds right now. So 2 laps a minute. This is going to go fast here at Iowa.
Yes, sir. The laps will tick by quickly. You cannot afford to lay back and wait for a moment. You look to the likes of Michael Keithley. Keithley just trying to cling on to a top 10 while playoff contender Dalton Kilroe is on the move. He is already up 2 early on, making moves in that number 41.
Riding on board right here with the car in Dalton Kilroe. That 7 car had a great run last night in the Blazing Pedals ARCA League. And looking to have another great run tonight in this ARCA car. The driver has really just kind of adopted this car as his own, watching the battles up front here. And you see this still 2 wide behind us, Ty Marasco, and the 1 stuck up top on Michael Keithley. And I thought Marasco was going to scrub the wall, but he kept it off of there.
He sure did. Dustin Ping putting down the fastest lap of the race so far with a 23:068. So Dustin Ping, he wants to go, and he's now started to close the back of Jaden Hobb. Double file all the way back. There is Nicholas Coruscant, the points leader, entering tonight, started midfield. He is now into 16th place, right where he started. He just had Michael Thorne Jr. go around his outside to pick up a top 15.
Fastest lap, Mark Arthur, a 23:063. So I said 28 and 29s earlier. We're talking 23s actually now that we're up to speed and we're beyond those pace times. Oh, caution's out. Hold on. That is the 30 car. Spun around. I'm not sure why yet. That's going to be Carter Phillip. First caution.
First yellow flag of the afternoon for the State Park number 30 entry. Coming out on lap number 7. So relatively early trouble here in this 18th race of the Guardian Premier Series. Well, no time like now to go back and see if we can't find out what happened to the number 30.
Yeah, we'll wait for the replay machine to load up here. Come on through. Watch the 30 up top in your screen. Got a little loose right there through the corner. Pushing kind of hard. That car still doesn't look settled, Nolan. Kind of just looks a little off skew. Finally, it comes on around. Probably a little too aggressive. Just misses the 24 and Paul Satmary. On around he goes. Caution is out. So the good news, well, the bad news is caution is out. The good news, maybe other than pride, maybe a little bit of ego, nothing damaged for Carter Phillips.
And nothing damaged for all the drivers trying to work their way around it, right? Everybody did a fantastic job of being able to get around that relatively unharmed. Several cars went down pit road. Coruscant leads them in. Kevin Foster is in with these guys. So is Scott Shire, Wyatt Walker, Phillips, unsurprisingly so. And this is looking like it's going to be mostly for fuel only for the field.
Yep. Yeah, I like this car. Listen, it's a 200-lap race in a league where, you know, we're known at times to have good runs. So, you know, what could 5 or 6 laps do for you fuel-wise? It could really put you ahead in the math game later. Right now, the danger to this move and why I'm not sure I like it, you know, where does it put you? The back of the field. It puts you way back in the danger zone, in the hornet's nest, in the beehive, whatever you want to call it. And it means you could find yourself involved in something you don't necessarily want to find. So we'll see how that works out for those drivers, who made some moves and who does what. But right now up front, it's Jesse Gordon still up front, Mark Arthur still on P2. So while lots of movement up and down the field, Nolan, the front 2 or 3, actually the front 3, just where they started.
Kind of looking at the playoff bubble here, right? And I mean, it may be early on, and yeah, this can change around a lot, but it does kind of paint a picture on how things have developed early on. Connor Gibson all of a sudden dropped right back to the danger zone. But he does still have a good 14-point gap to work with all the way back to Brian Dees, right? It's a 7-point gap now between your season 1 champion and Brian Dees. Coruscant, I think the big story here, right? He was in 8th place in the points entering today, and now he's been dropped outside of that margin because of those issues that he's had early on and because of that pit stop window, critically, that he has just taken. So that's time he can make up, but that is how critical it is to get these pit stop gambles right.
But when you're on the 8th, you know, when you're on the bubble, when you're 8th place coming into the cutoff race, you have to swing for the fences sometimes, right? You can't just play it safe, and so you have to try something different than your opponents and hope it pays off later and see what happens. Jeremiah Hobbs down a couple spots as well, and so let's see how this pans out, what happens here. I think there's only a couple drivers really in play for this last spot or 2. at a track, again, it's really only come to fame, I feel like, for NASCAR fans, at least, Nolan, in the past, what, 2, 3, 4 years. Before that, you know, IndyCar was pretty popular here, maybe some Xfinity races here. But for the Cup side, still a fairly new track for some of these drivers.
Oh, yeah, and I think for the most part, drivers have done a pretty good job on being able to work this track, but you can take some lessons that you learn at a track like Richmond and sort of carry them over here. Not all of them, mind you. There's a good number of them that you have to kind of relearn all anew, but those little tips you can take over one track to another can be so critical in winning your race. Free flag is back in the air. Let's take off towards turn number 1.
No surprise seeing the 2 wide, almost 3 wide battles happening. That's the 44, I believe, up top right there, trying to run it almost 3 wide, way up high. Now gets himself back in line here. So if I'm a driver right now, I have to be a little optimistic here, but cautious at the same time. I'm cautious because that first caution puts you in the mindset of now I have to go hard and make up spots, right? Because now that once that first caution breaks in your head, it sort of makes it difficult to, you know, want to sit back and ride here. So now working lap 12 already. These drivers are pushing on through and seeing here they're trying to find the way to the bottom lane as fast as they can, but in a 2 wide format, that's hard to do.
For the back, Tanner Barr battling his way into a top 10 as he tries to scrap with Keithley and Michael Thorpe Jr. Right now, Thorpe kind of caught in a bit of a bottleneck here. He wants to get to the front, right? Wants to make sure that his round of 8 position is secure, but he's just caught in the middle of all these midfield fights. Not a lot of opportunities to make up these spots, which is why you got to kind of be decisive at a racetrack like this. You can't afford to hang around. If you see a door open, you got to take it.
Have to take it, you're right, because this is a track that's fun, it's fast. I'm not sure it provides always the most passing opportunities. We're seeing a pass opportunity right now from Dustin Ping and Mark Arthur. Ping actually set the fastest lap last time by the way, so that's why he's gained all this time. But right now, if you're Dustin Ping, you're digging into that corner, you're trying to be aggressive, you're trying to lean on Mark Arthur and just kind of knock him off his path, but they're still fighting down the back straight here.
Yes, they are, and they are not looking to break that apart anytime soon as Dustin Ping tracks down to the inside. He's not going to be able to get around Mark Arthur, but one playoff driver under attack. Christopher Bassinger, he's fallen under fire from the Bass Pro Shops track boats, number 78 of Austin McGill. McGill now down to the inside of Bassinger. And that 15 car might be in some trouble as he gets pushed out in the top 5.
That 15 car might be in trouble as he can't get to the bottom of the track. Look how powerful the bottom lane is here. Watch McGill just kind of power through the middle of the corner. You'll see in other cars back through the field is how tough they can make it. But there he goes. Oh, the 78 kind of backed down, I think, because that was a big dip in speed. He let Bassinger on through. And now back through the field. Look here deep in. You'll see a couple more battles.
Right now, we got Connor Gibson, one of the playoff contenders. He's fighting it with David Lakey, Kyle Wellman, as well as Eddie Hagge right behind. He is on heavy defense right now, trying to keep him losing any more time. Problems for Adrian Loya, who has dropped way to the tail of the field, and it looks like he may have gone around out of turn 4.
Yeah, that's way off the field. That's way off the pace. You don't get that just, you know, without something happening to you. So let's watch the replays. When you get down towards the corner, it's going to touch that white line. It's going to upset the car most likely. There it goes on around, and he'll avoid a couple others. And in the grass, but no caution.
No caution, far enough out of the way, and nobody coming up on him. So he will rejoin the back of the field, still on the lead lap. Already working lap 20 of 200. Still a long way to go, and a catch at the outside wall there for Dalton Kilroe and Wyatt Walker.
Yeah, a scary moment right now. And if you're Dalton Kilroe, of course, you probably feel pretty safe in the playoffs. You want to feel safe at least, but you cannot have a moment like that. A moment like Iowa where speed matters on the short track. If you beat up that car and you lose your pace, you're going to lose your playoff spot.
Eddie Hagge, meanwhile, further behind, 2 non-playoff drivers here of Hagge and Wellman. They are set to battle as well as they go down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. tracking up wide, and goodness gracious, having a time of it here. As well as AJ Loya was down to the inside again, but this time he is slow.
He's massively slow. This has got to be something that's got to be addressed eventually here. Let's see if he's okay and see what happened to him again, possibly. He's going to swoop it again. Let's watch. Does not get to the bottom of the track this time, but again, out of that same corner. Just loops it around through the grass. Loya. And, you know, sometimes, Nolan, as a driver, this is the frustrating part of racing, right? Because it's like, you know, you're like, hey, I practiced this. I qualified here. I did my warm-up laps. And all of a sudden, the car just wants to behave differently, whether it's the track is rubbered in now, whether it's different track temps, and you can't figure it out. And it'll eat at you mentally. It'll frustrate you. It'll pester you in your brain until you just give up because you just can't figure out all of a sudden now why you're having problems.
Oh, and that's just part of it, right? I mean, you cannot always anticipate this field or this track surface being the exact same as it was so long ago, right? And sooner or later, that track surface is going to change, and no matter how much practice you do, you will never be fully prepared to get to the track conditions of when you've got every single car finally on track and running out here all at the same time, because that never happens in any practice session.
Nope, you're exactly right. You're 100% right there. That never really happens. Up front, by the way, here's Mark Arthur still under attack from Dustin Ping, but now look at that gaggle behind him. It's Bassinger, it's Kilrow, it's McGill, it's Thorpe, I believe, involved up in this battle. This is going to get really ugly in the moment because there's a couple drivers back there who cannot afford to be patient. There's Bassinger. He's going to dig to the inside. He's going to go to the bottom, not going to have the space to make the pass, but that shows you how much impatience can happen here.
Kilrow up to the top side as he looks to find his way around Christopher Bassinger. He'll retake a top 5 position. Cruising back into 3 and 4. Up front, Dustin Ping trying to go for the inside of Mark Arthur for third. No joy, though, for Ping as he is going to be kind of shuffled out a little bit here. Arthur still maintained that pace up high with some of that extra freshly paved asphalt that you see on the exit of turn numbers 2 and 4. Further towards the outside line, and he uses that perfectly to clear. And now Ping's from offense, defense. Here comes Kilrow.
Yeah, Kilrow way up top. He got a great run up there. Now he's got himself in between Arthur and Ping. And Kilrow, of course, as we said, needs to be on the move, wants to secure his day here, not have any concerns. Now he's up under Mark Arthur. Kilrow has found something here in these few laps. He is going to dig under. He probably won't make the pass here, but he's going to make his presence felt.
Just leaning on the door of Arthur. Oh, and now down inside, he's going to get turned. Turns himself across the nose. Boy. Can he gather it up? He's still pedaling it forward. Now he locks it down, and that lets Payne go around the outside.
I mean, when I said presence felt, I didn't know that's what we're talking about. But you're right. There it is. Presence felt. Christopher Bassinger's going to go on here. Michael Thorpe is behind Bassinger. So both these guys are going to try and make a move here. And this, maybe more so mentally, is going to get to Mark Arthur for a second, right? Because now you and I were excited up here. Imagine how Arthur felt in the car. So now he's going to take a second. He's going to breathe. He's going to just kind of let it go. But in that moment, you kind of have to kind of back up the car before you're ready to go again.
Cody Gibson losing some pace back at the number 21 here. May have had a slight slip up entering turn 1. He's lost a handful of positions, but he's been able to keep it going in the right direction. Arthur looks like he'll stop the bleeding around 8th place. And just in time, too, because here comes Wyatt Walker bringing this small group with him that has been slowly reeling in this fight for third on back, with them going side by side like this.
Yeah, Walker, Keithley, Lacey on back there. Ryan Philbrick, I believe, is back there in that gaggle as well. So this is going to become a really massive pack, and this is going to get really dangerous probably, because anyone who wants to make a quick move is going to have lots of cars in their way here in this moment. By the way, funny story about Christopher Bassinger, we'll share with you real quick. Oh boy, hold on to that, because there's a big wall hit from the 78. That's Austin McGill. That may have knocked that alignment off that car, by the way. That looked like a big hit. Let's watch McGill through the next couple of corners and see if this car kind of turns normally, because I think that would have hit that car pretty hard. So watch if he gets loose at all. Well, it looks okay, I think, actually, but that was a scary moment. I'll come back here to Bassinger, by the way. Chris and I were both invited this weekend to a fantasy football league specifically for iRacing members. So Chris told me, check this, if I beat him in fantasy football, I get to pick his HTRL paint scheme next season.
Did it work out for
I have
him?
ideas.
Oh, dear.
We haven't played yet, but I have some ideas. Don't worry.
Ronnie Norman down on the racetrack and slow. Williams Bettany, he has probably had some kind of an incident for Norman here, and that was Adrian Loya's incident from earlier. This is what happened to Ronnie Norman. Turn 4's been a menace.
iRacer,
Boy.
oh boy, got loose off of the, I think he's got up on the wall and tried to pull back down, and that car just came down quickly into the Cheetos car.
Yeah.
Ronnie, a long-time iRacer, by the way, a Chicago Cubs fan, has had success over his time in iRacing, but right now I have his Amazon Prime car, kind of, nice replica of the one we see on track on Sundays. So, nice paint scheme there.
Norman going to try to go around the outside of Jeremiah Hobbs. Hobbs, one of the drivers that was in a very, very critical position entering the championship, right? I mean, he was good initially, but now he didn't qualify for the race, and he's been on the recovery drive ever since. He is currently up 9 positions, but I don't think it's going to be enough still for him.
Well, the quote-unquote good news for Hobbs, he is 3rd place out of the cars that pitted on lap 8. So if this thing stays green, knock on wood, he's in a good spot. He'll have an additional about 8 laps of fuel that the other drivers don't have. So Hobbs is really kind of playing the long game here. And that's the only way to describe it. He's going to get down on the bottom and make a pass here and try to get up a spot here. That'll be a pass, I believe, on Sean Williams. But if you're Hobbs right now, you just have to hope beyond hope that this stays green and that first pit stop pays off for you and you find some kind of strategy. Hold on, as I say that, caution is out. There's a car up in the wall. Carter Phillips again for the 2nd time brings the caution out.
And he is not the only one either. It looked like potentially you had Adrian Loya caught up in this mess as well. So a few drivers getting involved, and Loya has just been assessed an EOL penalty.
Let's watch what's going to happen here. This will be these 2 cars right here. Loya in that gold car. Phillips up top on the track up against the wall. We're kind of working in slow motion here to kind of building anticipation, and Loya just comes up. I mean, I said Carter brought up the caution, and I kind of need to back off that comment. That's Adrian Loya. Like, that's... Yeesh. And I'm guessing if we play this in full speed, you're going to find out that Loya just probably missed his braking points and just came up the track, and there it is.
That's a hard lick into the wall, too.
That's a hard everything, and that's it's a wild line by Adrian Loya. That's what I'll say. I don't know how you made that line think it was going to stick. Well, what is going to stick are these pit stops. I suspect this time by 4 tires and gas for the field, and for those drivers like Hobbs who put on lap 8, advantage gone.
It's always a gamble, right? I mean, you got to really hope that it really goes the long haul and through a set of green flag stops in order for something like that to pay off, and it didn't this time around, and that could be championship implicating. We'll see how this is going to pan out. Jesse Gordon was the first one in. See if he was the first one out. We are expecting 4 tires and fuel from everybody, and our next pit stop run will not be coming until over lap 100, so well past the halfway point.
Yeah, assuming this stays green, you're right. That would be your next stop here. And we'll watch and see how they're going to line up here in just a moment. 3-wide battle off of pit road right there is what we saw. And now they're punching single file. Bell's back there. And more coming off of pit road. Well, now...
Jesse Gordon
tires.
Putting the clutch into turn 3.
Interesting call. By the way, Kevin Foster, if we go to the front of the field... Is that Kevin Foster? No, there's Kevin Foster. And the 8 did not pit. So Kevin Foster pitted on lap 8. So he is going to be on 40-some lap old tires behind the field. Ooh, buddy.
There's always one.
It's going to get, pick your word, wild, ugly, chaotic, messy, tumultuous, if you want to pick a fancy word. So let's watch this again. This is what brought out the caution real quick. This is Carter Phillips, has no idea it's coming, runs the corner, And in the wall. No idea that was coming. He thought for sure Adrian Loya would hold his line, but man, a car not pitting in on 40 lap old tires. This is going to be interesting. I mean, listen, Kevin Foster's in that spot we talked about in the playoffs. Those red numbers on the side of your scoring tower indicate who's currently in the playoff run. I said earlier you have to swing for the fences, Nolan, to try and make something happen. This might be swinging a little too hard.
Nah. You can never swing too hard for the fences, at least in baseball. You can in racing, but you can.
I mean, you can swing too hard and just miss the pitch. I mean, you can.
You know what? Fair enough.
You can miss the pitch. You can really swing too hard. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see what's going to happen here. Again, Adrian Loya was given the end-of-line penalty. That happened because of the cause of the caution. So, this is going to be interesting. Also, of interesting note here, the car with the older tires has picked the outside lane. That might be good news for the field because it'll be easier to pass it.
We'll be working to turn numbers 3 and 4 as Kevin Foster set to bring the green flag out once again. Restarts have been a bit entertaining so far, and this one expected to be no different. Foster with a great jump as he gets away from the field.
Well, that's what he needs in order to have any healthy chance of not being swallowed up by the field. The problem's going to be in these first couple of corners. Watch how fast part of the field is going to close up on him here. You're going to have Gordon, you're going to have Ping, you're going to have others, and they're going to quickly, probably about 5 laps or so, be up here with Foster and on around Foster as we come up here to the front straight.
Well, why wait 5 laps? They're there right now and ready to do battle with the number 8 car. Already see Jesse Gordon entering high, exiting low, trying to carry that diamond line to get a run down the straights to try to chase down that number 8. Kevin Foster just hugging the bottom lane, but right there, those old tires bite him. He slips up the racetrack, and that opens up the door for Gordon down the inside to retake the lead.
And what's going to happen now, once he's Foster stuck up high, this could open a really ugly door right here where it's just going to create a little bit of a choo-choo train. Here comes Ping. Here comes Hop. Here's going to come Thorpe and more. It's just going to be one possibly very long line of passing Kevin Foster here.
Now, critically, I believe the reason why, I'll get back to that in a moment. Right now, Thornton taking it 3 wide down the inside of Jaden Hop and Foster into the turn number 1. 3 playoff drivers, all 3 wide. Another one in front, 2 more behind. It's playoff city up here in the top 5 as they go back double file in the turn numbers 3 and 4.
So I think you're going to say why, and I agree there is a why behind why Foster's going to do it. He's trying to save a set of tires for later. That's got to be my opinion.
Not just that. You get a bonus point for leading a single lap. He's got that bonus point in hand now. And those points, I think, one means everything.
That's true. I agree with you. I think it's more possibly about the tires, though, because now he's one set of tires to the good if this works out, right? So maybe come into the race, if most people are out of tires, he has a set left. So you're right, the bonus points do matter. I would argue, though, the bonus point you're going to get is going to be offset by all these spots you're losing on track, and he's already back to P8, almost P9 when Ben Lacey gets around him here and scrubbing the wall time and time again. You can see the effects of that car not handling, and every time he scrubs the wall, he runs the risk of doing some damage to that body.
All things considered, though, he is holding on a lot better than I thought he would be. I thought he would have dropped back easily outside of the top 10 by now. He's still up here fighting for 9th place, so a good run for him. How about Dustin Ping with a big slider as he throws it on Jesse Gordon through turns 1 and 2. Gordon now back to the inside of 3.
Yeah, these guys are trying hard. Ping wants to get up here and lead that lap. He wants the bonus point you talked about, and he's going to get it as he's up ahead of Gordon. Ping, new leader on lap 51.
And take a look at this Hail Mary coming down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Got a great run out of 4. And then back for 1, just centered down to the inside. Gordon trying to back off and let him have it, trying to cross him back over. But it didn't pan off because Gordon got loose. That scrubbed off too much speed out of 3. Or out of 2.
And credit to Gordon, he backed out a little bit there because he easily could have just tapped the back into Ping and created some chaos there. But he backed out of it. They're still racing here side by side up through the corners. But I think Ping is going to start to slowly pull away here. In fact, now Gordon's just about under attack from Jaden Hop.
Oh, he's flirting with that apron line as well. You see him straddling that white line in 3 and 4. Got to be careful that we've already seen a couple of drivers getting caught by that tonight. It's never a game you want to play too many times, because sooner or later you're going to come up with snake eyes. Shane Hopp and Michael Thorpe Jr. meanwhile battling for P3. Thorpe down the back straightaway with Hopp down on the inside, and Thorpe clears for third.
Thorpe clear for third. Thorpe wants to move up here and have a solid race if he can. Would love to go ahead and kind of not cap off the season, but put another win on the season here if he could, and come on around. But up top, Dustin Ping still not done guarding that lead, because right now Jesse Gordon is trying hard. Here comes Thorpe. Here comes Kilrow into the picture, by the way. So look at him back in P4. He wants his chop to get in here, and he might get his shot in just a couple laps here.
Thorpe now going to make it 3 wide. Thorpe's getting desperate. He wants to go for a race win as well. Down to the inside of Ping and of Gordon. And they'll get it 2 by again. Jesse Gordon thinking conservatively, thinking with his head as he backs out. He knows he'll have a chance later on, and that later on came right there at 3.
Started to say, yeah, maybe not that much later on, because he tried for it. Not going to get it. And what all he's going to do is probably invite Dalton Kilrow to start making the pass and blocking the way here. But I was impressed with Thorpe. That 3-wide move to take the lead. I didn't know if that was going to stick as well as it did, honestly, but he at least got around one of the 2 cars, and now he's just attacking Dustin Ping.
Right behind them, Kilrow, Hopp, Passenger, McGill, Lacey. All side by side. Wyatt Walker looking to put in the race as well. Passengers lose down to turn number 1. Nearly slipped up and out as they came around through turn 1 out of the quad oval.
Boy, hold on, caution's out. And there's Michael Keithley on around. And based upon the way that car spun around, Nolan, I don't think he did it alone.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
Into contact with the Cheetos car. There's Gibson a little bit loose. They're going to come now 3 wide. Gibson back up the track. I don't think oh, that was a very light tap of that hit. There's Ronnie Norman just squeezing by. Dana Lakey's up high, and caution is out.
I don't think there's anything intentional from Cody Gibson.
No. Again,
he was just trying to lock it down and just was still chasing the car by the time that all happened. But, yeah, it all started. Keithley just got loose.
Oh. Yep, and then I mean, what happens is Gibson finds out he's 3 wide. He's got, I think that was Kyle Wellman on the bottom. Moves up a little bit and just moves up too far. And the caution is out as we said. So here we are now. Question now would be, who does what? Watch Ronnie Norman real quick, and we'll come back to pit strategy talk. He's going to see the wreck happening. He's going to move low just a little bit. As well, he's going to have there. By the way, pit stops happening at Ty Marasco and others down pit road. You see Mike Keithley's down there. I'd wondered if some drivers would try this strategy here. Again, you know, it's below that lap 100 marker you thought of in your head when you said this is probably what our next caution would be. But, you know, seeing how strong tires are, why not try something here? So, I don't know.
Well, you say that a lot of drivers taking just fuel only.
Fuel only.
You know, trying to re-gamble with the fuel strategy. Now, critically, a lot of the guys that are gambling the fuel strategy were already back in the field. None of our front runners came in under that. So, I think this has been more of a safer call. If you're already back in the field, you may as well, right? I mean, you're not going to lose much, if anything.
By the way, I want to make note here. Kevin Foster did pit this time.
That's no surprise.
No surprise, but the point I want to make here is I'm sure he put tires on since he didn't before.
Yeah.
So now that we're going to be about 18 lap old on these tires, let's see what Kevin Foster does, because I'm curious how good 18 lap tires are.
David Lakey, much like Ronnie Norman, had his own bit of a scare in all of this, and while Norman is skating low, he had to juke around the outside. He was thinking low as well. Then Hughes went down the racetrack, quick course correction on top, and he gets through.
Yeah, that was, no offense to David, that was a bit of luck involved in avoiding that, because that was a last-second call to get up there and make that move. Well, here we go, working around here on lap 61 of 200. Your top 5 now: Ping, Thorpe, Gordon, Kilrow, and Hopp. And it's sort of an interesting hodgepodge of cars in this group because you got cars that you would think are locked into the playoffs more than the next round, such as Thorpe. You've got Kilrow on the cut line. We've got drivers not involved in the playoffs at all. This is a pretty cool melting pot here at the front of the field.
You see who's been on the move here. The notable drivers, Michael Thorpe Jr., obviously, Jeremiah Hobbs, yes, he is up 17. Ryan Philbrick from deep in the field, he is up 14 places in the 06 machine, now running in 11th place. So quite a few big movers and quite a few big losers, unfortunately, as well so far.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Keating down 17, Arthur's down 25, Scott Shire's down 12. So, yeah, unfortunately, you know, what's that thing in science you learn about? For every positive reaction, there's an equal and opposite negative reaction. Well, that's what happens when you go up the field. Someone else has to go down.
Pace car is off, and once again, the field is set to go. Back to green flag racing. Dustin Ping on the outside. Jumps early, and he takes his badge.
This time by, he's going to have Michael Thorpe this time on restart, not Jesse Gordon. Let's see if that creates a different scenario. Thorpe's going to quickly look to the inside. He'll make it too wide through the corners here, Nolan. He wants to get up here and get up here bad, and almost made contact.
He wants that bonus point for leading the lap as he's trying to get around Dustin Ping, but he's also got Dalton Kilrow to contend. So even if Ping clears him, it doesn't mean he can jump up top. Now he's trapped on the outside as Dalton Kilrow looks to file his way through. Trying to come down, but Thorpe's still holding on there.
Yeah, Thorpe's doing a great job. So is Kilrow. So, I mean, heck, so is Jesse Gordon back there in P4 having a good run here. So this is a great tight battle up front. Too wide for a little bit here. But on back, it's starting to single file out pretty quickly.
Kilrow clears Ping for the lead, and Jesse Gordon not going to attack Michael Jr. either. Looking for three wide. Deep in the field, and look at Philbrick caught in the middle of Brian Dees and Eddie Hagee as they head down the tri-oval.
A bit of three wide action. Something Iowa, as a driver, I don't like ever hearing. This track is, I mean, not that, it's wide, but not wide enough. I really want to be three wide here. But when you put 33 cars on a 0.88 mile track, you have to expect it to happen every now and then.
Riding on board with Jeremiah Haas, and you can see this track really not as wide as exterior cameras would lead you to believe. When you get 33 cars, that track fills up quickly, and looks can always be deceiving as Jeremiah Hobbs holds the inside.
Yeah, and I guess if you're Hobbs right now, the benefit you would have being three wide is you have the bottom lane. And I would say for most tracks, maybe minus a super speedway, I almost always want to be bottom. If I have to be three wide, I want to be closer to the bottom of the track so I can get off the track and kind of make my own fate. You never want to be middle. You can make an argument for top lane as there was contact right there. And there's also a slow car to the back of Paul Sathmary. All looks good there. But up front, we're still moving here. We're still green flag racing.
Still green flag racing. Now once again, three wide into turn one. Hobbs up top, Philbrick in the middle. This time it's Kyle Wellman going on the offensive down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and that's going to get these guys clear. Meanwhile, Thorpe and Gordon started to go at it for third here.
Woo. Boy, oh boy, Thorpe, a little bit of elbows out racing, just kind of making some small bumps. Nothing too aggressive, just kind of making, you know, say, hey guys, I'm here. You know, I'm involved in this. And, you know, I'll be honest, I understand as a race car driver, you want to win. That's your main goal. But if I'm Michael Thorpe and I'm well to the good in playoff points, the danger you run here by running this kind of race, Nolan, is, yeah, you're probably going to make the playoffs regardless, but you could really put yourself, you know, pretty far down the standings at the start of next week if you're not careful here.
It's going to be one of those fights that's, I think, going to be an ebbing and flowing scrap back and forth as this race continues to go along. A few laps ago, Paul Sathmary dropped all the way to the tail of the field. He was alongside Michael Keithley, and returned three with the Lufthansa number 24 Toyota Camry. And coming off of turn 4, that guy comes around on him.
Yeah, we've seen this happen a couple times. Adrian Loya, that turn 4 marker right there is a little tough. did a great job of getting it safe through the grass, got down to that pavement, kind of kept moving straight. But that turn 4 marker, man, if you get a little too gas happy, a little too throttle happy, you can loop your car on around.
So Wyatt Walker trying to go at it with Panamar up top. You've got Philbrick and Gibson just behind, and well, in fact, you got both Gibsons, Cody and Connor, right beside each other as they get down to the 3 and 4. Kyle Wellmer right behind them as well, pushing up to the outside wall. Cody Gibson down to the inside of Connor, and Ryan Philbrick continuing to climb up the field as he is now up 11 spots on the outside line. Oh, but he's loose.
Dig as they were loose and made contact right there. There's a Kyle Wellman's digging the bottom front 3 wide. He'll get around that Cheetos car. He'll get around a couple of drivers. So Wellman's making his way up the field, having a good run here.
Well, they just can't stop themselves, can they? I mean, it is a heads-up grudge match right now. You got 2 playoff drivers leading the way at 1-2. And then from third on back, it's just a slugfest.
It really is, and it's been that way all night long. It's not been a moment to breathe. Again, it's just a matter of how many cars and how little space. And boy, that got sketchy right there, because I don't know if you noticed right there, but that car of Jesse Gordon had 2 tires below the white line in the corner. Most times that will lead to your car being very unhappy, very unsettled, and very loose. As we see now some smoke on the front straight, that's going to be Carter Phillips again slowing the track.
Not again for Carter Phillips.
Not that way.
It's just bad to worse for him.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, apparently. Watch Phillips. Oh, this car has snapped around, has wiggled, and got it into grass. Credits to Carter Phillips. That could have easily, have he just stayed on track, been a yellow flag. And
oh boy, here we go.
Oh, hold on. Now they're going to pass him. Now they'll be 3 wide for a good part of the front. Hopefully just 2 wide in the back, but everything is okay at the front of the field.
They were looking 4 wide there for a moment as they came down to the turn number 1. And you mentioned Phillip with a good job to get it out of the grass, especially as that car started to snap back. That easily could have corrected harder to the outside wall and taken out the leaders who were right behind him.
Yeah, that's what I say. That would have been really bad had he done that. That would have been some major playoff implications, which the term is overused, but would have been rightfully used in that moment right there had that happened. But look at this right here on your screen. The story to be told is this battle. Dalton Kilroy is up in the front, by the way. He is pulling away by over a second, and it's because of this continuous battle.
Oh, look
right
out!
Here. Gordon, hold on. That's too far in the apron. Slid it up the track. Ping got on the brakes to let him get the car gathered up here. Credit to Ping, who could have probably just ran him over and went on by.
Yeah, Jesse Gordon way overshot turn 1 there. You can tell he knew he was really deep on the brakes as he went to cut that corner early. Now he looks to shut down Justin Ping into turn 1. Jesse Gordon continued to pull away for second place. Now, if you're these playoff drivers behind, I mean, this is it's a non-playoff driver, right? But we talked about it before. They have just as much right to the racetrack as everybody else. But how frustrating are you as a playoff guy that you have a non-playoff guy racing you this aggressively and you're not even at the halfway point?
I don't know if it's about playoff guy and non-playoff guy. If I'm a driver who's got a newer driver to lead racing me this hard, I'm just frustrated whether I'm a playoff guy or not. Who are you to be blocking? Why are you blocking? Why are you being aggressive? Hey kid, it's only lap 82, 83. Why are you being this way? Those are questions that come to mind. Now sure, add in the layer of playoff and non-playoff and it gets a little bit murkier, but I'm sure Ping is upset regardless as he almost made contact with Austin McGill there.
Near contact with him indeed, as now the fight's going to continue the back straightaway where McGill cuts in, Thorpe cuts out as he ducks down to the inside trying to get around the Bass Pro Shop 78, but McGill playing the cards perfectly right. He held it on the bottom, and just like that, Thorpe's actually lost one because he got baited into the move.
Yeah, man, as this race goes on and the tires begin to wear, it really does kind of feel like passing is becoming a premium here at this track in Iowa. It's getting harder and harder to watch a pass on the bottom here up front. That's going to be someone getting around. Dustin Ping. That is the 78 of Austin McGill. And boy, Ping really went from racing hard up there with Jesse Gordon to now kind of falling back a little bit. I don't know if that's by design or not, but he's back a couple spots here.
And look at Jaden Hobb. Where the heck did the 00 come from? He was mired at the tail of this field. He's been quietly picking these guys off one at a time. And now he is working at it again. More smoke on the front straightaway.
Yep, looks to be pretty high that time. But I'm not sure that maybe older smoke. The fact it's not right over the track tells me it may have been a couple of laps ago that happened. But here comes this herd again. There's a car in the bottom. It's Carter Phillips. That might be coming off the pit road, unless that was a new incident for Carter Phillips. Here, look at the bottom. Hold on. Don't go anywhere yet. There's a pass on a couple of cars here, and they're going to work it out 3 wide towards the back of the field.
Yeah, Patrick going to drop off to the tail. Brian Dees caught up as well. Jaden Hobb cuts off Austin McGill as the 00 gets up into number 3 now. Back up to where he started this race. All of this action in the first half of this race, this has been phenomenal action so far.
Yeah, this has been great action, I would say, so far. I mean, we've seen a couple of unfortunate yellows, but nothing of any real, horrible luck. Just a couple of cars involved each time. So it's been a great race so far for these guys up here in Iowa. Ooh, a little bit of a rough there, but as I start to think ahead, Nolan, if I'm a driver who maybe knows I'm locked in the playoffs, your next round of tracks, Vegas Auto Club in Old Atlanta is what's up on the calendar. So if you make it the next round of the playoffs, you better love your 1.5 mile and bigger racetracks.
Paul Statmary loose out of turn number 2 as Michael Ashmore, meanwhile, going to hit pit road. Statmary running by himself and back in, just steps around him again.
That right there, he touched the line. That's a little different than what happened to Loya and others earlier. He touched that white line and that car got on around, and Bassinger now tried to make a pass and he could not stick there on Dustin Ping. Here comes Brian Dees in the 17. He's now going to try and make the pass here. And, well, hey, we're getting close to lap 100. So as you see Ashmore come down, now right now he's the only one to do it. But I would suspect, if not for tires, for gas, we're not exactly that far off of discussing pit stops. We pitted on the lap 42 under caution. So with the pits tanks limited here, the fuel tanks part limited to 80% capacity, we can't be that far away from some drivers needing to pit.
No, absolutely not, right? I mean, these pit stops, they tend to come up on you pretty quickly, especially with the limited fuel tanks that the High Tide Racing League is known to run. Several drivers still trying to throw haymakers at each other, and they're becoming more and more desperate. That's one of the big complaints about Iowa, in particular about this new repay version of Iowa, right? A lot of drivers on Irish team, they have been happy with it. It's gone from being a driver favorite to one of the lesser leg tracks on the calendar, because drivers say it's just so hard to pass now because of all that asphalt, and it just takes the fun out of a multi-group racetrack when you make it one group.
Yeah, it really does, right? It almost makes it into, I think the old 90s NASCAR, the old kind of bump and run tracks. Think about like a Richmond or a Bristol, where the most effective way to pass someone was to kind of, wiggle them, get them loose and get around. The problem with doing that in iRacing is it seems to be much harder to do in iRacing and wiggle someone and not wreck them as compared to what they've seen the pros do in real life. But on back through the field here, look at this Wyatt Walker on the inside. He's now trying to make a pass here. I think he's just about going to complete it. Hey, of note, by the way, I said something we should keep an eye on back in P19. Kevin Foster, pardon me. So he's the one of the drivers who we know took tires on lap 60 after not doing it before. I'd wondered how good 18-lap newer tires could be. I'm not debating there's some benefit to them, but it's not world-changing apparently.
Yeah, it's not as beneficial as you might have hoped for, and more smoke on the front straightaway, and that one was relatively over the racetrack and potentially attached to Michael Keithley. He's all the way back in 29. He's right behind Scott Shire, loose out of 4, may have scraped the wall down into the infield, and eventually spins it down.
And what I find odd about this conversation of the drivers getting loose out of turn 4, we're about an hour in. It's now almost 7:50. Whoa, a little bit of a flashback. There we go. Whoa.
Oh my goodness. There we go. There
Wow.
Are we good?
Wow.
I think we're good.
I was dying for a second. I thought I saw the light. I thought I was, it was the last moment. I was like, what's going on here? But again, it's almost 7:50 p.m. virtual time. We're an hour into this race. Track temp now 87 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought as the night went on, we would find more grip in this track, but as the night goes on, those guys are finding less grip in this track out of 4.
Yeah, the temperature has kind of fluctuated a good bit as of late, right? I mean, take a look at how much it's kind of gone up and down from the start of this race, too. So it hasn't been a stagnant track temp. It's been ebbing and flowing. In fact, you can kind of see where the cautions came in, right? Because of where the temperature dipped down dramatically. You don't have all these tires pushing heat into it.
Yep. Definitely see those matters here, so we'll see how this looks. Maybe we'll come back to it later in the race and see what it looks like here. But up and down the field, lots of cars trying to make moves. Christopher Bassinger just pulled up a pass there on that green and white car. See Brian Dees up top. He wants to make a pass on the car down below him. That's Jeremiah Hobbs. By the way, Hobbs up a bunch of spots, up 19 spots. I believe that to be the most on the night, and it's even probably more so for Hobbs because, hold on, here he comes down pit road is this car on your screen. And that is Dustin Ping, by the way.
Yes, sir. Dustin Ping making his trip down pit road.
Like for Ping for being the car who was up there battling all night long to now pitting by himself and is going to go easily a lap down during the cycle. Ooh, buddy, that could have some real wild implications for Dustin Ping, depending upon what happens here.
He's not going to be safe to be in either. He has to pit one more time to boot. I don't know why he would have done that when you could have gone at least another 12 laps on that still.
Yeah, at least, right? Yeah, 100%. I believe that to be the case. So he must think those tires are just so worn that maybe he's killed the tires or something happened that he needs to pit right here. So we'll see how that turns out and what it looks like when he comes off the pit road here. But I was going to mention Jeremiah Hobbs. Remember, he started technically dead last. He had an end-of-line penalty to start the race due to the incident point system from before. So even though he qualified 29th, he started further back than that. So Hobbs here again up many, many spots. He's now up to P12 and 19 spots up officially on the track.
And Jeremiah Hobbs having quite the good recovery drive for him as he cruises back into turn numbers 1 and 2, and now towards the back straightaway as Hobbs has got Connor Gibson just underneath him. Brian Dees up to his outside. And the 17-inch tree just going to pull clear from top and down loose and nearly took out the 31.
Jeez Louise. Hobbs comes up on the mic and says, hey, that was a stupid move by me. I apologize. And so he apologized for that move there on the white car. Now the 06 is going to go on through and try to make the pass here. So Hobbs owns up to the mistake. I respect that. Hobbs at times known to be an emotional driver, not afraid to speak his opinion. But in that moment, realized he made a mistake and apologized for it.
You know what? No harm, no foul, right? Everyone kept it together. Nobody spun. One spot lost. That's not the end of the world. Just head down, focus on the race.
I would agree with that. So here we go. Great run now, by the way. And I would say as a driver, this is the pivotal part of the race. We're past lap 100. We're on lap 107 to be exact. And look up top. What that means is that we've gone from counting the laps up to counting the laps down. As a driver, whether I'm having a good day or a bad day in a race car, this is cool for me. Now I get to count the laps down. And this race will go faster likely in the second half than it did in the first half. That said, I expect if you're on the cut line, maybe this race can't, is going too slow or too fast, depending on where you are on the track.
Just past the halfway point, and as we gear up for pit stops, Jeremiah Hobbs still in a critical position, right? He needs to make up one more spot if he wants to be in, and that would push Brian Dees out. Right now, Dustin Ping, the Season 2 champion, is well down the field. As though his pit stop, that's putting down a lap, but he should cycle through once everyone else comes down as well.
Yeah, that early pit stop for right now is not paying off. Going to put him well out of contention, but Hobbs here needs to get around Brian Dees. Look at the point difference here, not that much. So, I mean, even up to, Ben Lacey up there, only 47 back. So, anything is still wide open here with this race. Who knows what may happen here as this race goes on. And we get the benefit in the broadcast and have that little ticker right there that says where you are in the playoffs. When you're a driver in the car, you don't quite know. You have an idea maybe, but you don't know exactly where you stand minute by minute.
Unless you're listening into us and you have it up on a second monitor, then you could also see where you are. But I'd argue you probably have bigger problems if you're watching from the sidelines.
Yeah.
Walker and
had some more pit stops here. Walker, and there is your 69 car. So they're going to come down pit road here.
Oh no, David Lakey around at turn number 4. Caution comes out. When gone for a spin, somebody clipped him on the front end, and that changes the complexion, and that screws Dustin Ping.
Yeah, that's tough for Dustin Ping. So Ping right now, boy oh boy, scored a lap down. So let's watch the replay first. There, I was just pointing, Lakey just gets loose up in the top lane and then down in front of Ty Marasco. Marasco Brady bumps him. They're going to just spin in front of the field. Oh boy, that's Tanner Marr, I believe, right there. And so, yeah, there's no argument. The caution had to come out, but if you're Dustin Ping or others, that's not fun. So what you're hoping for, if you're Dustin Ping and others, let's hold on to this real quick thought. We'll come around here, watch David Lakey here. There's Mark. Hello. Never mind.
That tells a very different story.
Yep, there it is. And so right now you see the green lights. You stop. There it is, right on the top of your screen. The yellow lights come on, and caution is out. Now here's the good news for Dustin Ping as pit stops are starting. Ping is your lucky dog. He's going to get the wave around here. He will not get the pit this time. That's okay. He just pitted a few laps ago. He'll be at the end of the lead lap, but at least he's on the lead lap.
Silver lining. It could always be worse at the end of the day.
Read what that. Actually, Ping is going to... usually when you're a lucky dog, you don't get enough time to come down pit road, which is how short the pace lap can be. But actually, they're going to... with lucky dog, he is going to come down pit road here. So he'll come down as well. And he'll get the gas. I suspect not tires, since he probably just took tires a few laps ago.
Well, Jaden Ha putting in the clutch and probably gambling on more cautions coming out, so we can probably try to save the fuel to go to the end of racing action from here. Lights are still on aboard the iRacing pace car. We'll take ourselves a quick step back. We'll be back with the back of the race in a moment on Greenflight TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Greenflight TV. We are just about to return to Green Flag Racing this afternoon from the Iowa Speedway. It's round 18 of the High Tide Racing League Guardian Premier Series. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. My name is Lil Rempel. Joined alongside me here today is going to be Derek Watson as we bring you all of racing action from start to finish here this afternoon.
We're about to go green flag racing once again here, Nolan. So it's going to be Jaden Hopp, Ben Lacey, Eddie Hagee, Michael Thorpe, Austin McGill, your top 5. Pace car is down. Let's watch what happens here on the track. Can Jaden Hopp get a good start? I think he will. He'll jump the start here, and he'll make the pass as we go green flag racing.
Benjamin Lacey did not go at all from the inside into turn number 1. Eddie Hagee trying to go up and around the outside line of him. Thorpe right behind him as well. He's going to look to the inside, while Hopp retains his run on the outside.
So good run so far. Hopp maintaining the lead here. Lacey, who needs to have a good run to make sure he stays in the playoffs, up here in the top 3 currently. He's got Thorpe, he's got Bassender, he's got McGill, all trying to kind of torment him and take that spot away here. Oh boy, there's a car up top, that green one in Hagee. You saw him kind of wiggle off the corner there, Nolan, but he saved it.
Sure did, but we got problems coming around here. Brian D's way down to the inside. One of the big playoff contenders in serious trouble as he tanks through the field in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and it really lit up the driver's shot. Whatever must have happened right there must have been in front of a bunch of drivers, because I heard a bunch of voices in my ear light up pretty quick. Watch what's going to happen to D's in the bottom of the screen here. Going to fast forward a little bit. He's going to get in the back of that white car. He's then going to tap into Gibson. He's then going to spin in front of the field halfway, save it somehow, but that made everyone a little nervous.
Well, Jaden Hobbs still staying at the head of the field. Eddie Hagee has not been able to run him down. Thorpe, Lacey, Bassinger, and Moore all situated just behind these guys as well. Connor Gibson deeper in the field. One of the drivers that was in a critical position entering today, now fighting on the outside of Austin McGill, and Gibson has been able to get a lot of points by being up here near the head of the field. He's just got to hope he can hang on to it to seal the deal into the round of 8.
Doing a great job in getting those points, and of course, again, racing around the drivers who aren't here for the points. They're here for one goal, and that's to win and make a statement. So up top right now, there's 2 cars. There's your second place car, that green car, Eddie Hagee. He's up here trying to make that happen. That's 78 on your screen in the bottom lane of Austin McGill. He wants to win and make it happen, but he just tapped the wall, or got tapped somehow, and went well to the inside before he saved that car.
I mean, again, just everywhere you look, something's going on. Got to get your hair standing up in the back of your neck a little bit here. Like this moment, Larry Bell dropping to the field, causing more cars to have to scramble down the inside to make moves to get around him.
And this is how passes happen this track most commonly. I know we said it's hard to pass here. Hold on, speaking of passing, here comes a pass possible to lead. Jaden Hopp under attack from that green car, and Eddie Hagee. Hagee, of course, again, not in the playoff scenario. Just wants to come out here and win and say he won at Iowa. And can he make the pass? Nolan, he's trying hard, but he falls back in line.
Didn't push up nearly enough coming into turn number 3. He had to have, if he wanted to really make that work, he would have had to go up a lot more than he did. So Eddie Hagee will drop back behind Jaden Hopp. And I think Michael Thorpe Jr. took that as a sign of weakness. He smells blood in the water. He's now going to go down to the inside and try to capitalize on that error, but he did it too soon. Hagee, with that momentum, able to get a huge drive into turn number 3, and he's into the lead.
And not to overuse the term, but that basically is your old Dale Jr. slide job. And hold on, Hopp. Oh, Hagee made a mistake there. He did not track up to the wall like he should have and blocked that run. And that's going to put the lead, at least temporarily, back in the hands of Jaden Hopp. Hagee had his one shot, his one opportunity, and he blew it there in that moment.
Do you have some bomb spaghetti in there as well?
There you go. I'm so proud of you.
I was like, I was trying to think, what is something for, I knew exactly what you were going for. I was trying to figure out what is something I could take from that. And hasn't seen Shrek, hasn't seen most movies I reference. He knows Eminem. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Especially that.
So proud of you. Well, Christopher Bassinger not proud right now. He scrubbed the wall a second ago and had to get well off of it and swung way to the inside. But here, look at your top 5, 6, 7 cars, all single file. Your first battle is on back here a little bit through the field, and it's going pretty well. That's behind Bassinger. That's me, Connor Gibson and Ryan Philbrick battling for P6 and 7.
Philbrick having to fight his way up from the back of the field. in about 25th place to make it a steady drive of his own. Jonathan Canfield around to the front straightaway, and he is down, almost bringing out a yellow flag. He's able to keep it off the racetrack long enough to get it back up to speed enough that we will not have a yellow.
Yeah, good news there. Watch it again on the replay, see what happens to him. Canfield's going to be here in the middle of this picture. Does he get tapped? Not initially. He got loose in the zone. He did get some help from that yellow car. I'm impressed and maybe not happy in some ways that that's not a caution. Not that I want the caution, but when you got a car looped around on the front straight, boy, that's yeah.
We had a four-car crash at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the middle of the quadruple on the racetrack that wasn't yellow, so nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, and we've seen plenty around here that we think are cautions. It should be, hey, I'm glad it's not. It lets the racing continue. We're now 70 to go. Green flag conditions. Eddie Hagee's trying again to find his way around Jaden Hopp. And I mean, listen, it's 70 to go. I don't be over dramatic. He'll get another shot at this. He'll get another chance to pass. But when you had that shot lined up right there, all Hagee would have had to have done is slid up the track, block the high lane, and he easily could be leading this race.
We talked quite a bit about points this afternoon. No surprise there, right? I mean, it is the championship fight. One of the big bonuses, you get 3 bonus points for leading the most amount of laps in this race. And right now, that number going the way of Dalton Kilroe. So Kilroe getting 3 very much needed points at the moment. Only 4 more than Jesse Gordon. But Jaden Hopp, if he can keep this lead, he still has time to run that down and take down those 3 bonus points away.
And that's detrimental to Dalton Kilroe, by the way. It's almost more hurtful to Kilroe than it is to Hopp, because Hopp came into tonight top in the points, right? He came into tonight leading. Here, no concerns about making the round of 8. When you're Dalton Kilroe, you came in 7th tonight. You came in right on the bubble line. And right now, Dalton Kilroe is up in P5, up 2 spots. But take away those bonus points, and it gets a little closer, gets a little bit more hairy. Now, those 3 points right now would still put him in the same spot, but then it puts in just a battle really close there between himself, Lacey, Ping, Hobbs, by the way, back up above the line to point that out. Wyatt Walker's down. So as they run currently, this is going to be an interesting night all night long. We watch those points live, wait for any kind of last minute, Hail Marys to make something happen. I suspect that lineup right there is going to look very different when all said and done.
And I have a feeling, we may be in the tame now, right? I think we're in the calm before the storm here, because we are about to enter the final 50 laps of this race. And look, you've called Iowa races. I've called Iowa races so many times. We know how this goes. It's going to be tame for the first little while, but you get one caution in the back 50, 40, 30, all hell breaks loose.
Oh, yeah, because you're going to have some different pit strategies happen. You're going to have some drivers who know they're on the cut line, who need to be aggressive. You're going to have drivers who just want to win, and more gets involved. Well, Nolan, the good news is that the fans are loving what they're seeing right here at Iowa. We're not done on the channel this week, buddy. We have, hold on, Mark Arthur's around. We'll come back to our self-promotion in a minute. Mark Arthur, for the second time tonight, is going to bring out a caution here. Boy, oh boy, let's see what happens to bring this out here. Arthur up here alone, Ronnie Norman right behind him. And Arthur gets up out of the corner. It's up in the wall. And then nowhere for Norman to go. I mean, Arthur's just in the wall slow. And Arthur's had a really bad 24, 36 hours. Had a not stellar run at the Blazing Puddles Arc Elite, the Milwaukee Mile last night. Not having a stellar run tonight, so it's a really bad run here. I mean, watch it from this angle. Again, you'll see, Arthur gets up to the wall, he scrubs, and I don't know where you think Ronnie Norman's supposed to go in that moment.
We were talking about potential pit stops here. I think this is going to see everyone in, because you pit here, you're good to go to the end, even with overtime.
I would agree. So we'll see probably tires, gas. Now, the question is, who wants to take a swing at it, right? We talked about his drivers below the line. Brian Dees might be below the line right now. Who's below the line? Wyatt Walker came into tonight, I think, 5th in points. He was below the line. Does someone do something different? 2 tires, maybe? Let's see what happens. So right now we see our front running car here, and see there's your right side's up, right side's down, left side's up, left side's down. So no one's zooming through pit road right now. I don't see any indication of anything that wild, I don't think. Hold on, that's Eddie Hagee. Yeah, this all look to be pretty much 4-tire stops here. I get the safety and security of making that 4-tire stop, Nolan, but there's this idea in business. If you want to be better than your opponent, you have to be different than your opponent sometimes. And I just don't see that happening. Scott Shire maybe took a different strategy.
Yeah, he
Actually,
did.
He's got a shorter pit stop.
Fuel only for Shire, 2 tires for Ping and for Dees. Fuel only for Coruscant, 2 for Foster, and fuel only for Williams. So a few drivers did attempt it, but majority are on full.
Well, I mean, as Shire, I'm happy he made a move, but for Shire, it's not as important. I mean, he just wants to win. He's not a playoff driver. Dustin Ping takes a 2-tire call. So, and we'll wait and see. But I was going to say earlier, before that caution came out, if you love what you're seeing tonight, we are not done this week. So let's take a look at the schedule this week. Yourself and Lucas Moody tomorrow night, Indianapolis Motor Speed for OM SRL. Myself and Lucas Moody Wednesday night for the Premier Sim Racing at the Milwaukee Mile. Beer League Wednesday night, yourself and Finn Acini. Am I right? You're at Coda?
Correct.
That's what they decided on. We'll make sure that's updated later. And then Average Joe's Sim Racing League, the Grillmaster Series at Atlanta, Speed Cup Series at Daytona, and then on through the rest of the weekend. So every night this week up through Saturday, even on Sunday, more racing to come here. I believe the last I counted, Nolan, over 45 broadcasts in the month of August.
It's kind of wild to think that at this point we've got more days where we have 2 or 3 than we do just single. That doesn't happen all that often anymore.
The growth of the channel has been amazing. I'll say it, and I know you won't, but the growth of the channel, I mean, back in March we were doing 5 nights a week or something, and it's grown exponentially. We're grateful for it. We're happy to see the growth. Plenty of new commentators coming in. Lucas Moody, Sky Shrek, Teddy Lowendix come in to join us, Matt Gagnon. So lots of new commentators, lots of new talents.
Is it Sky Shrek? I thought it was Shrek.
It's Shrek. I confirmed it is Shrek.
Well, look at that. Perfect for you.
And perfect for you. Just now a bit of the rest of the movies. Wait till I tell him. All right, pace car's off. Let's tell this story right here. It's going to be Jaden Hopp again. Eddie Hagee's down on the bottom. And like every other start tonight, the leader has chosen the top lane.
Outside lane's been the place to be. As Jaden Hopp cruises down quite easily into turn numbers 1 and 2. Working down the back straightaway now. Does this turn into a cautions, break cautions type of scenario, or do we get the chance to get some proper green flag running in? Michael Orb Jr., second place, single file. Oh, trouble front straight away. We got multiple cars around in the front.
Wyatt Walker's down there. You see that purple and white car, the 94 is down there. Oh boy, this could start to get a little messy. The 00, was he involved? I don't think, no, he's just up front. Sorry, I just saw the camera shot, got nervous. But, well, let's see what happens here. This looked to be pretty big. Watch the bottom of your screen. That's going to be the yellow car. There's Wyatt Walker up top. And who's going to end up where? In fact, it might even be a checkup up ahead of him. Look at that. The blue and white car, that's Tanner Marr. Might have caused all this. He got sandwiched into the wall. So 2, 3, 4. There's Jonathan Canfield making contact with Kevin Foster. Foster down through the grass. That's some big implications right there. And caution is out.
All started really with Ethan Sikorsky, got turned into Corso, who then went up into Tanner Marr, who would have had it missed otherwise had it not been for that little contact there with Ronnie Norman.
Yep, you're right. That's, oh boy, it started, boy. In the case of Marr, he probably thought he had that cleared, sadly, and then found out he did not.
Kind of just one thing leading to the next, and this is going to bring several cars down pit road for damage repairs. Most drivers staying out still on the racetrack. Still got about a quarter of the race to go. What do you think, Derek? We want to talk to one of our field runners?
would love to talk to one of our field runners. I'll let you pick who, and we'll just grab someone and pull up here into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth, and we'll have a quick chat, if you will. So we'll wait for a driver to appear that Nolan's going to pick. It's going to surprise me who it's going to be. Drum roll, please.
Choices.
It's only a short caution. You can't wait forever. Let's go. Time is a ticking here, buddy.
Let's try Tanner Marr.
Let's grab Tanner Marr. Let's go ahead and pull Tanner Marr up into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Tanner, it's been a bit of long runs here, maybe a couple cautions right now on the track. I can see you're on pit road, but right now, what's been your impression of the race so far?
It's been fun. It's been a fun race. I actually took that caution. I don't know if it actually was on me or not, but I felt like I needed to claim it just in case. But it's been fun. It has been fun. It's really loose, but also tight, so you really got to drive it.
So what's your outlook for the rest of the night here? Do you think we get another Green Flag run in here, or do you think we're now kind of in that point where people are going to be too aggressive for their own good?
I think if we can get, this is going to sound weird, but if we can get 3 to 4 laps away from one of these restarts, I think we will string out and have a good Green Flag run. We just got to get those first 4 to 5 laps out of the way and get strung out here a little bit, I think.
Fair enough, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you, boss.
That is Tanner Marr, driver of the 44. Got sandwiched up in the wall on that caution, Nolan. He seems pretty optimistic, all things considered.
I'm actually a bit surprised he was in such good spirits, all things considered. But
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know that I would have been.
Well, hey, he's got a positive outlook. Good for him on that one. I mean, hey, having fun, right?
I will briefly touch. I'm sure yourself and Austin Edstrom have it early in the season. When cautions come out here, the drivers have a chance to apologize and quote-unquote claim the caution. It does limit the hit of the penalty post-race if they're willing to do it. Some drivers have said, hey, listen, I'm going to apologize even if it's not on me just to be safe. The review committee will sit back down later tonight or tomorrow and watch those wrecks and watch what happens. My first impression, I don't think that's on Tanner Marr. Much respect to him for claiming it and apologizing, but I think the fault will fall somewhere else in that wreck.
Yeah, I think if anything, Wyatt Walker, the one that turned Ethan Sikorsky, might be the one at fault. And I'm sure Wyatt Walker's probably thinking, well, if he's going to claim it, then I'm not going to say anything.
Why should I?
Especially since he's fighting for playoff points.
Right. Yeah. No. So the good news is that the system currently does not affect the points. It'll affect some penalties such as end of lines or drive-throughs, but it'll stay the same. Well, this time it's Michael Thorpe Jr. on the inside of Jaden Hopp. A new battle. A new challenger has entered the arena. And wait for the green flag. We go here, and let's watch. Hopp gets another great jump here, but Thorpe is right there in the mix.
Looking for 3 wide already behind. Kyle Wellman down to the inside. Austin McGill up around the outside. Connor Gibson caught in the middle here. Climbs down between Gibson and Wellman as they take to the back straightaway. Able to gather it up. But a bit of a dodgy moment there as they came around through turn numbers 1 and 2.
Well, Tanner Marr said 3 to 4 laps. Here's one. We're 1 in of that goal for Tanner Marr, but he thinks we can spread it out if we're getting a few lap screens. There's the first of them. As you see on back, it's still some 2 wide racing. I don't see too much. Oh, hold on. Nope, never mind. Scott Shire has killed that 4-lap run that Tanner Marr was hoping for.
Oh, boy, and nearly back right across the nose of Michael Ashmore. They tried to just back up to get it rolling, but clearly Ashmore was not expecting it.
Well, and nor should he. That's not something you'd expect a driver to do. We'll wait for the replay machine to load up here. Here it is. Let's soon watch and see what happens. Up top in that green and black car, Scott Shire. We saw him up there scrubbing the wall. And now Mark Arthur's behind him. I'm not casting dispersion, just kind of making the comment. Oh, nope, someone's going to come up. That's going to be the 24, Paul Satmary.
Arthur just slips through.
Yeah, that time Mark Arthur avoided the wreck. So good job for Mark Arthur. But this right here, this would be an issue possibly of note post-race. A nudge that you have to hold the brakes there, buddy. You have to wait for the field to go around. It's a scary moment. Has it right here. See, the wheel's not spinning, and then he just kind of lets loose right about here. Comes down the track, and Michael Ashmore had a scary moment.
This is Ashmore down to the very tail end of the field. He's just coming off of turn 4 here. Just kind of running his own race. Yellow flag comes out there. And there's Shire. Ashmore slows up, and You saw he saw the wreck. He was slowing up. In fact, he had slowed up very reasonably. He was like, all right, I see where he is. I'm going to go to the inside.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Shire starts coming back down the racetrack, and you heard him immediately jam the brakes even harder.
Yep, 100%. I agree with that. So, well, Tanner Marr said 3 to 4 laps. So we'll see how that comes out. Let's pick another driver. Let's spin the roulette wheel and see what happens. I feel like actually the best person to talk to in this moment, if we can, might be to go ahead and grab Scott Shire. And we're going to welcome Scott in the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Scott, unfortunate caution right there. You got tagged in the back end by a different driver. What was your perspective of what happened?
I really couldn't see much. I saw a car coming up, but there's nothing I could do.
Well, before that, what was your thoughts on this race so far? It looks kind of tricky out there, actually.
Yeah, it's not too fun here. This is definitely not a track that suits me very well. That's why I've been running in the back all night. It's just not been good for me.
Fair enough. Well, listen, we'll let you get back to it. I know we're 1 to go. Good luck the rest of the night. We'll see where you finish off.
Yep, thank you.
That is Scott Shire, driver of the 4 car involved in the last wrecks. He's just having a hard time all night long, Nolan.
Tough night for Scott Shire. Good news is he is not really in it for the points right now. So, I mean, he's still fighting for regular season points, but he doesn't have the same stress weighing on him as one of our championship competitors might have, being that far back in the field.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Well, here we go, coming around here. Lights in the pace car. So I thought I heard the 1 to go sign, but I guess there it is. I thought I heard him call it a lap early. So maybe a couple of voices on my head, who knows. But Jaden Hopp has chosen the outside lane here. Not really a surprise. It gives you a big momentum jump on this restart. Even though it just feels like the inside lane might be the one on turns that you want to be in if you could, everyone tonight has chosen the outside as the leader. Well, let's take a second here and go ahead.
Well, Jaden Hopp, I think for him it's a case of, well, the outside lines worked every restart so far. Why stop?
Why change it? Yeah, why change a good thing? If it's not broke, don't fix it, might be the better analogy. Well, here we go. About 40-some laps to go. Come around here. Jaden Hopp once again controls the restart. The green flag comes out, and Thorpe tries to get up here. This is about the same with every restart for Michael Thorpe so far. It's going to be about a car length back, going down into turn 1. They're already single file for the top 3. By the way, that's Benjamin Lacey up in 3rd now, Nolan. He's made his way through the field.
Catching of the outside wall for Eddie Hagge as they fire back around into 3 and 4. Across the start-finish line, Jaden Hopp continues to lead the way. 45 laps to go. We are well into the back quarter of the race, and, well, you remember what I was saying before. It all tends to fall apart this late in the run if you get a caution string, and we've gotten 2 in a row, hoping we can keep it away from dreaded number 3.
And the reason why it's going to get all crazy from here is everyone knows they have a different goal right now. Some drivers, it's win. If you're Michael Thorpe, you make the pass on the bottom, you dig here, and he's going to fight Hop out of this corner. He's not going to be nice about it. He's going to be aggressive. He could have, possibly used more room, but did not get there. But if some drivers right now need a win, right? Thorpe, likely good. Hop, likely good. Benjamin Lacey would love to win and lock himself in. Came into tonight 9th in points. Eddie Hagge just wants to win, right? So many stories happening here. Ryan Philbrick, just wants to win. Chris Bassinger is trying to fight on points. And when everyone has a different goal here and a different purpose, you have to be aggressive to meet those goals.
Well, the field going to keep on the pace here as Hopp and Thorpe, they're going to keep the fight going as we drive her back deep into turn numbers 1 and 2. So far, Michael Jr., while he may have set the fast lap of the race chasing down Hopp, he has not been able to find a way to get around him. Enters high, trying to time it off at turn 4, but it's not enough.
No, it's definitely not enough. I don't know what Thorpe's going to have to do. I mean, I do, but he's not going to want to do it, but he's going to have to use that bumper, but back in the field has been called a little scary. That was 3 wide for a moment. Some slow cars. That was Seth Mary. That was Larry Bell. That was Shot Skyer, I believe, back there in the 4 car, but all's worked out. We'll stay green flag racing.
And so the fights continue on as Kilrow goes at it with the field, and problems for Paul Satmary. Satmary's got a meatball flag, and he is into pit road. So Satmary has crashed big time somewhere on the racetrack. Couple cars on the outside. One of those being Philbrick.
Wow, this is a big moment right here because Paul Satmary must have had that damage on the car before pit roads, and then came down to pit road and smacked the wall. So that car likely done, maybe wrecked on pit road out of frustration. Who knows? But up here on the track, it's not calming down. Look at this battle right here. This is going to be Kilrow. This is going to be McGill. This will be Eddie Hagee back here. They're all fighting for spots. Jeremiah Hobbs back there fighting as well. That's that black car just right there in the middle of your picture. He is trying to fight for this race. He wants to get around Dalton Kilrow. He wants to be in the playoffs.
Well, right now, Eddie Hagee trying to fend off the legs of Dalton Kilrow up top. Jeremiah Hobbs going with them. Austin McGill losing pace on that inside line as Dalton Kilrow pushes that momentum to go around the top. Iowa Speedway, such a momentum-based racetrack. You lose that drive, it's so hard to gain it back.
It is hard to gain it back, but you have to right now because the points are live. Up and down every lap, points are being gained and lost, and those standings are changing. Who's in, who's out, who's on the bubble, lap by lap for the playoffs keeps changing. And so if you have to keep digging, you cannot stop here with how tough this racing is. 2, almost 3 wide. There's Ty Marasco leaning on a car up top, and we're going to be good. But even in the back of the field, we're racing hard. Oh, hold on. Oh, there's another body for Marasco. Good Lord.
Brian Dees getting into it a little bit with Brian Philbrick on the trip down to turn 1 that time by, as but they are just absolutely hauling the mail here.
69. Oh, I thought for sure he was going to make a point on the 1 because that's who the 1 had been body checking, and I thought for sure that trajectory the 169 was on, he was going to say hello to Ty Marasco. It might still happen right here, Nolan.
Oh, around goes Marasco. Back straightaway, goes around. Oh, and Canfield slides in.
That is, I'm going to say it right now, I'm going to jump the gun on to making a decision. I get that Marasco was being a bit aggressive with the 69. That's intentional. That is 100% retaliatory right there. You don't come from the bottom of the track to the top of the track and make contact like this. Watch it up the track. He's going to climb it here. He's going to get up here, get in the back end of Marasco. There's no doubt in my mind. The review committee will watch it later, but that's unnecessary. At a race that's a cutoff race, yes, these drivers are not involved in that cutoff battle. Per se, there's Jonathan Canfield getting involved, but every caution affects the points battle. That's awful. That is 100% not okay.
Jesse Gordon actually collected Michael Keeley as well. Watch, he spins back up the racetrack and boom, collects.
Did Arthur get around with that contact? Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I think he did, yeah. And then just backs it up right into Larry Bell. Collecting yet another driver. This is on board with Canfield, and Canfield just had nowhere to go.
Now watch Canfield. He's going to just kind of understand the wreck is happening. And by the time he's going to start to see it here, it's just going to be a little too late, I think. Wreck's going to happen here. He tried. I mean, he saw that car turn to the left. But when you're going that fast at a track like Iowa without a tremendous amount of banking in the corners, you can't make big moves like that. So unnecessary. I understand you need to make a point and you need to kind of defend your turf, but there's a difference between defending your turf and being a jerk about it. Honestly, I don't know a better word. That's the best word I can say. Is that's unnecessary. That's unwelcoming, honestly.
Well, let's jump back here.
Hey.
This is going to be on board with Jesse Gordon on the lead up to this.
No, after this replay, we have breaking news up front we need to find. But let's watch this here first off. I mean, I'll say, there's a turn to the right. You're not going to convince me that's not intentional. I'll fight it out later.
I was willing to give the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, well, he probably just understeered into him. But I mean, he may not have turned right to initiate the spin, but he certainly straightened it up.
Hey, by the way, breaking news. We were watching that battle in the back, but look at this up front. Benjamin Lacey, Austin McGill, Eddie Hagee, Cody Gibson, Connor Gibson, Keithley, Lakey, and then Jaden Hopp. Jaden Hopp just pitted on lap 169, as did Hobbs, Thorpe, Kilroe, Bassinger, and on back. We have a new leader.
First lead change in some time. Now the question is, have all the laps in the lead been enough for Jaden Hopp to close up there? Sure has. He's taken those 3 bonus points away from Dalton Kilroe by 4 laps.
Want to thank those as well out in the YouTube chat, keeping us alive. Michael Thorpe's dad, Jaden Hughes is out there, Kelly Quell, and others. We see your comments. If we don't always get to them in the broadcast, thanks for being out there and being active chatters. We do see what you say, and we see you rooting on your favorite drivers. Well, we're not done yet. We have a bit of time to go. Benjamin Lacey, for the first time here, is going to lead this field around. Austin McGill's up in the catbird seats. This is going to get good.
Field coming back around, 29 laps the distance here in this one. And green flag back in the air. 3 wide already. Jeremiah Hobbs the inside. David Lakey, Jaden Hopp going up to the outside. Michael Thorpe Jr. going around the outside as well. And now Hobbs gets loose as he pings off the door of David Lakey.
All right, look in the middle of your screen. That's Michael Keithley now getting loose. Remember,
Oh, here we go. 4 wide.
He is 4 wide.
No,
Hold on.
Thorpe!
No.
Thorpe is involved. Kilroe's
No,
involved. It's the big one on the front straightaway. 7 cars at least all getting involved, and several of them are playoff drivers.
Yep, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt big for a couple of drivers. Dalton Kilroe might be the most impacted. We'll see the pace cars going to work his way around to find the front of the field. But they were 4 wide. Michael Keithley got a little bit loose here. I'd wondered how that car was going to behave. Remember, he caught that damage in that last wreck. He's going to be right now in the middle. It'll be Jeremiah Hobbs on the bottom. Be a couple cars. David Lakey's up there. Michael Thorpe. And then Lakey's now going to come up into, well, after first, Keithley's up in Lakey. Lakey's into Thorpe. Thorpe's into the wall. And then all hell breaks loose.
Keithley involved. Kilroe involved. Bassinger caught some damage.
Mark Arthur got some damage.
Sikorsky with damage.
There's
Honestly,
that spinning up there.
that was not as bad of a wreck as I thought it was going to be.
Well, not yes and no. Number of cars wise, it's not bad, but I'm willing to bet when we go back live here in a second, if we take a look at our live points as they stand after a couple of replays here, it's going to be a bad wreck.
Oh, that's the big damage there for Kyle Wellman. Brian Dees even caught a piece of that.
Yep, Brian Dees caught a part of it, so yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Maybe not the biggest wreck ever, but the implications will be massive. Watch one more replay here. Watch it up from top. There's Keith in the middle of that blue car. I don't. You're 4 wide at Iowa.
Yeah.
That can't hold. Like, see a couple cars make some masterful moves. What they thought they were up into the grass, and then maybe came up into somebody else, but. I said earlier I don't want to be 3 wide at Iowa. I don't want to be 4 wide at Iowa either. I'll pass on that things.
Yeah, the 4 wide just doesn't work here. The second I saw Jeremiah Hobbs making a look for 3, I was like, all right, well, that's it right there. You can tell it's coming.
Well, let's take a look at the points live as they stand, Nolan, and I bet there's some shakeup here in this. Now look at your bubble. Remember, 8 advance. Kilroe is out. Carousel's out. I mean, Brian Dees is well out. Kevin Foster's now well behind the line. Thorpe is right on the bubble in 8th. It's hard to think. Thorpe came in here 3rd tonight in points and is on the bubble. It's really now a battle between Thorpe and Kilroe. So, I don't know. And I guarantee you, if you took a picture of that stage right now, Nolan, and we compare it to where it's going to wrap up here at the end of lap 200, not even close.
Compared to where it was like an hour ago.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're right. I mean, look at all those red, greens, ups and downs, the reds and the greens on that screen, just from where it started tonight is different. Well, Benjamin Lacey now it's still leading, has Austin McGill, has Eddie Hagee, Cody Gibson up here, Connor Gibson's up in P5. So these guys, in a way, don't know what just happened. They've heard the tale, so to speak, of what happened behind them, but they had a pretty clean shot all the way through. So these guys, a good, clean run. They'd love to get a couple more and get this done and get this race over with.
Benjamin Lacey holding on. Austin McGill down to the inside. Gibson and Hagee. Third and fourth, Jaden Hopp. Sitting back in sixth alongside Johnny Gibson. Pace cars off. Green flag set to come out this time by. Green flags in the air. We're back to racing.
Look at the moves being made back for third and fourth. Eddie Hagee's back there. Gibson back there in the Cheetos car. He wants to make a move. Now 2 wide on behind them. That's going to be Gibson and I believe Jaden Hopp battling. So this is not done even up front now. Back here in the deep. This is where it happened last time. And it's still beating and banging. We've not learned anything from last time.
Well, Dustin Payne, look at all that damage to the 81. He is just blocking like a madman here, trying to hold on to whatever spots he can bust because he is desperate to stay in the points.
You know, and that's going to hurt everybody, right? Have you ever been like behind like a 2 wide highway and there's just like semis up ahead of you and you can't get around? That's what it's going to feel like for anyone behind Dustin Payne, likely Sikorsky, Dees, Canfield on back. They're going to have a heck of a time trying to make that pass. Up front, by the way, Benjamin Lacey, good news for him, fastest lap of the night, a 22.844. So if you want to win the race, setting fastest laps is a pretty good, solid way to make that happen.
Well, lots of drivers still on the move here. Now double file for Gibson and Hobbs, Baxter and Walker, 4 playoff drivers. 2 by 2. As they work into turn numbers 3 and 4. Austin McGill, by the way, is also pressure Benjamin Lacey for the lead.
Yeah, this may be our closest battle for the lead in a long time under green right here is going to happen. And McGill barely touched that white line and got nervous, but he's able to hold on to the car. So it's Lacey, McGill, Hopp, Gibson, and Hobbs. Man, Jeremiah Hobbs up to P5. That deserves all the kudos you could give to someone, Nolan. Went from starting basically dead last to P5 and doing a pretty good job at it.
Well, right now, Benjamin Lacey and Austin McGill will keep on the fight here. Jaden Hopp as well as closed in for number 3 right behind them. And he wants to try and claw his way back to the lead of the race. So a 3-way fight about to commence. Austin McGill to the inside of Benjamin Lacey for the race lead.
Here it goes. Here's the battle. What will Austin McGill do? How much will he impact Lacey here? Tracks out pretty well. Oh, no, look at this. This will be 3 wide in the corner.
3 wide to the inside for Jaden Hopp. Squeezing Austin McGill in the middle. Benjamin Lacey way up to the outside line in turn 4. Lacey with the Real Earth Films number 7 Mustang holding the top lane for the time being. Still 3 wide as they go down to the turn was 1 and 2. Somehow no one's hit each other yet. They're doing a phenomenal job of keeping it clean. Still clean and still 3 wide into turn number 3. And finally, Jaden's forced to back out from the bottom.
Gonna back out. Hopp barely. I mean, he's right back in it. Never mind. And this is getting good. They're also 3 wide behind them, I believe, actually. They were, yeah, they are 3 wide behind them. Look at this, 4th, 5th, and 6th now. That is Hobbs, Gibson, and Bassinger. They were 3 wide. So they said, hey, that looks fun. Let's try that out.
And now the roles are reversed. Jaden Hopp and Austin McGill trading places. Now it's Hopp in the middle, and McGill down low. Still 3 wide for the lead off of turn number 4. Benjamin Lacey trying to hold on up top, but Jaden Hopp not to be denied down low.
Yeah, I think McGill and Hop switching spots was bad news for Lacey, but how strong Hop is. The moment Hop got to that separate spot and was able to swap and make that 3-wide move, it really helped here. So Lacey's given up that spot right now to Jaden Hop here, and he's still got under attack behind him. 3rd and 4th, which is going to be McGill, Hobbs, and others still looking to get around Benjamin Lacey.
Oh, the field going to keep the drive up as we come around into turn numbers 3 and 4. Working back to the front straight away as Austin McGill holds on. Cody Gibson just behind. They finally get back to single file after a pretty intense 3x3 wide battle as Wyatt Walker almost turns Christopher Bassinger out of 4.
All up ahead of them, there was almost a battle right there between Gibson and the car in front of him. They almost got into it. Gibson and McGill almost got at the same time. They almost made contact. So everything going on. Ronnie Norman scrubs the wall. He'll pull a bit of speed off that car, but here we are now quickly approaching 10 to go, and this is not over.
No, sir, it is not. There's still a long way to go before, well, not a long way to go, but a lot that can happen in the back 11 laps of a 200-lap race like this. Jeremiah Hobbs continuing to hold strong with that 3rd place spot. Drivers like Lacey and Jaden Hopp are also having a pretty good go of it. The field cruising back around into turn numbers 3 and 4.
Yeah, by the way, on and back through the field, there's still some other battles happening. You should note Michael Thorpe is a lap down, by the way, on track. He is trying to get everything he can back there in 24th position. Dalton Kilrow, he's back there, sorry, in 22nd. So many a car still fighting back here in the field, trying to make things happen. Jeremiah Hobbs wants to get around Benjamin Lacey. This is important for Hobbs to help secure his spot in the playoffs to make the pass here, but he backs out of it. And now we have 9 to go, single-digit laps at Iowa.
Only 9 laps. Jaden Hopp continuing to pull away more and more with the lead of this race. Hopp is going for win number 6 of the season, as he continues to try and fight this one out with himself. It'd be win number 6 of the season, win number 9 of his overall career for Jaden Hopp, and it is looking more and more certain as he clears from Benjamin Lacey.
Yeah, he really is. He's doing a great job here, and the battle really is happening behind him. This has become the story of sorts. It's Lacey, it's Hobbs, it's McGill, it's Gibson, it's Bassinger, and more. Here's Hobbs again, trying to make a look on the inside. Really got up on the back end of Lacey right there, tried to maybe get him a little bit loose. Gets now through the corner. They're going to lean on one another, and Lacey well up on the wall. That might give Hobbs the finish he needs in the next set of corners here.
Jeremiah Hobbs back to the inside of Benjamin Lacey. Later at the door, contact! Contact! Around goes Jeremiah Hobbs. He gathers it up, pulls it up and saves it, but he'll be dropped outside of the top 5 for his efforts.
Yeah, he certainly will. Also, Lacey's going to lose a spot here. I'm pretty sure it was going to be under attack from Austin McGill. But up front, by the way, there is Jaden Hopp. He just put a car between himself by the lap car up there. I can't tell who that was. Was that Dalton Kilrow? It was Kilrow, I think, wasn't it?
Could very well have been, as Benjamin Lacey continues to hold on. Now just 5 laps to go. They've dropped back a whole second. It is Dalton Kilrow. Get in the way. Contact again. Benjamin Lacey and Austin McGill going at it. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Dalton Kilrow keeps the field at bay and gets up and out of the way, but they're still leaning on the door, and they are not willing to let this fight go.
Benjamin Lacey has been like a tackling dummy these last few laps. Everyone's leaning on him, making contact, trying to make something happen. But by the way, credits to Dalton Kilrow real quick. Kudos. He got up out of the way, got up in the wall, got that car out in the back of that pack there. Does not want to be involved where it happens here. Now look at this. Now Jeremiah Hobbs 3 wide with Austin McGill and McKipson in the Cheetos car. This is going to get close. Now here we go. Only 5-ish laps to go on the track, Nolan. Oh boy.
The fight's continuing on as we cruise into turn numbers 1 and 2. Out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Cody Gibson trying to go for his first high time racing podium. He shoots into the number 3 spot. And here comes Austin McGill, power sliding out of turn number 4 as he tries to fend off the field. 2 to go. Jaden Hopp is hoping he can get to the white flag, and if he does, he's all but home free.
Yeah, all bets are off if that happens. We'll see if he can make it happen. Benjamin Lacey seems to be home free right now. He's finally free of all that beating and banging that's happening. But here, Austin McGill wants to get to the back of 21. Christopher Bassinger back there. He needs to be alert and aware what can happen here. Here we go. White flag coming out at Iowa.
So the field going to go back down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Austin McGill, he wants to challenge for the podium one final time this afternoon. Meanwhile, Jaden Hopp in the turn numbers 3 and 4 coming back around. He's 1 away from double digits of the win column. Jaden Hopp wins at Iowa, and he'll be the first driver locked into the round of 8.
See a couple more battles. There's Shire and Dees fighting the line. Dees trying to fight for his playoff life. We're not sure if he's going to make it. We'll find out soon. But boy, despite all the calamity, the beating, the banging, the drama, the who's and the whats, what was constant tonight was the domination by Jaden Hopp.
Jaden Hopp, only 1 win to go for double digits. He would be the 3rd driver in High Tide Racing League history to take 10 or more wins. The all-time win record held by Benjamin Lacey. Aaron Smith, the second one up with 10 wins, and the way Hopp's been running with 6 wins this season, I think he's a threat to usurp Benjamin Lacey as the winningest driver in this championship before the season's end.
Yeah, that's not unheard of, is it? Not impossible to see what may happen. You see Hopp's going to come around here through the Legends Oval. A very unique way to do nuns. We don't see this very often. Of course, you see the piece of corn there at the start-finish line. That's where Hopp's going to do his burnouts and grilled corn, roasted corn, but it's going to be cooked corn with Jaden Hopp's done with his burnouts.
A stellar race here this afternoon. What a way to close out the round of 8, and still a long way to go in this championship. 3 more races, and we'll see who will fight it out at season's end. But for the time being, it's going to be here a huge, huge win for Jaden Hopp. His 9th of his High Tide Racing League career and the 6th one in this season alone. He stands alongside Benjamin Lacey on the podium with Cody Gibson taking his first HTRL podium of his HTRL career as well. Christopher Bassinger comes on 4th, Austin McGill in 5th. Good recovery drive from Jeremiah Hobbs after failing to qualify for the race. He finishes in 6th, Wyatt Walker in 7th, Ron Dorman in 8th, Connor Gibson with a good drive of his own in 9th, and then it's Ryan Philbrick to close out the top 10.
Moving back here in the P11, you're going to find Sean Williams with Eddie Hagee right behind him. Kevin Foster fought all night long, came back to P13 with Brian Dees right behind him in 14th. Scott Shire, we saw involved in those late wrecks back in P15. And then Canfield, Lakey, Ping, Sikorsky, and Ty Marasco round out your top 20.
Top 30 closed out by Coruscant, Thorpe, Kilrow, Arthur, and Wellman. Those are the last cars to finish this race. Then Carter Phillips, Michael Keithley, Tanamar, Jesse Gordon, Larry Bell, along with Paul Savary, Michael Ashmore, and Adrian Loya, all failed to finish this race this afternoon. All 33 cars that qualified for this race, or at least that attempted to qualify for this race, ended up starting this race. We have 25 still on the racetrack by the end. Well, we'll get the chance to take a rundown and give a chat here with the drivers that come home, numbers 1, 2, and 3. And we will start it off with Jaden Hopp, the driver that comes home number 1 this afternoon. Jaden, a big win for you this afternoon. Not only does it get you into the round of 8, but also it is win number 9, and you are 1 away from double digits.
Yeah, it feels pretty good to come out and win this race. Hopefully we can go to 10 and try to go for 10 before the season ends. I think we can do it, but yeah, it was good to win the race. I thought I might have been screwed when we had that second yellow with like, I don't even remember. I think it was like 20, 25, 30, somewhere in there. I thought I was kind of screwed at that point, but we made it work.
Overall, a very, very stellar drive this afternoon. You got up front and you were in complete command until it was the pit strategies of all things that ended up seeing you be bumped out of the race lead. talk about that outside lane because you just were hooked up on it today.
Yeah, the outside felt pretty good. It did better than I thought it was going to. I'm so used to, like, every time I come to Iowa, I usually run the bottom both ends. I usually don't touch the top too often, but so it kind of caught me off guard that it felt better than than I was expecting it to. But yeah, I don't know. We made it work coming up through the field. I thought I was gonna get held up more, but we made it work.
3 races to see who will be racing into the round of 4. All of them very high-speed tracks. Las Vegas, Auto Club, the Legacy Scan of Atlanta Motor Speedway. You've made it through the first round, but now it's time to run the gauntlet once more. You had a bit of a close call at Talladega to kick off the round of 12. What are you going to have to do to make sure that you don't end up in a similar position at Las Vegas next week?
Definitely going to be survival. Every race in this round has been pretty much pack racing all the time. I'll be honest, this upcoming round scares me more than the one that we just did, because I remember I DNF'd out of Auto Club, and I think I wrecked and finished 18th at Atlanta. The only good one was Las Vegas, so just go out there, hopefully survive all 3 races, and see where we come out.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next week at America's Gambling Capital. Congratulations on taking home your 9th win of your career and your 6th one this season. We'll see you next time out at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I hope to see you there. Thank you again. Thank you very much for broadcasting these things.
And thank you for helping to have us along. Jaden Hopp bringing it home number 1 this afternoon. We'll move on down to Benjamin Lacey, the driver of the number 7 car. One of the drivers that will end up fighting for the championship in the round of 8. He is standing by with Derek Watson.
Yeah, one of the drivers who needed to do well tonight to probably lock in that playoff spot. Ben Lacey, Ben, towards the end of the race, it felt like you just could not catch a break. Everyone leaned on you a little bit there, and you somehow held them off.
Yeah, to be fair, I was kind of pinching down too. I know I pinched Hobbs pretty hard. I pinched Hop pretty hard. Say those names back to back, both Jaden and Jeremiah. So yeah, it's coming down to the end of the race, and you got to make sure you make the next round, and that's what I had to do. And wasn't gonna throw too heavy of a block, but I was definitely not gonna make it easy for him, and was able to hold off P2. Was hoping I could do the same to Jaden, but needed a few more cautions for that strategy to pay out, but definitely take a top 2 from where I was in the point standings to lock in.
So it's hard to ask this question when you finish P2, but after seeing what Jaden and others pulled off after pitting there on lap 170, looking back, hindsight being 2020, are you still happy you stayed out, or are you like, man, maybe I should have pitted?
I'm almost kind of disappointed that one caution came out, because I feel like I was getting a run up on Jaden. Was figuring out where I was a little better than him to actually make a move, hopefully for the lead of the race. But I just got into his bumper and was getting ready to kind of start playing the game, and caution came out and kind of ruined that. I felt like on short runs I didn't quite have just that raw pace that some of these other top Ferner guys had. So I thought, let's stay out and see how many we can pull with us. And I think we only got like 6 or 7. I think if we would have had maybe like 12 to 17, I think it would have been a lot different story, but couldn't pull that many out. And I would definitely probably stay out again. I probably would end up P2 anyways if I came down and pit. So probably a net 0 at that point.
So the next round is kind of a bit of a rewind round, because all 3 tracks are tracks we visited previous in the season: Vegas, Auto Club, and the old version of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Which of those tracks are you most likely to pull off a win at?
I do love Auto Club a lot. That's I'm like 20 minutes from the track, so it'd be really cool to pull that one through. But the first round through, I'm remembering back, that was a lot of carnage out there. So
yes, I remember ripping carnage too. Yes, I do.
So I think it's going to be able to, who can survive, and then hopefully all of us drivers kind of are aware of what's happening, and now that we've gotten familiar with the car and familiar with each other, maybe we can get some good green flag runs and put on a typical Auto Club race, and hopefully I can come away with a W and beat that 00 car. I know he's got a lot of fans out there, and I appreciate you guys watching. You know, he's a good guy. I love Jaden. I just love to beat him sometime. That'd be great. Just tough to do.
Fair enough. Well, Ben, pleasure watching your race as always. Congrats on P2, and we'll see you next week at Vegas.
Sounds like a plan. Appreciate it.
That is Benjamin Lacey coming home in P2. And last on the list, but not least, is going to be our third place finisher in Cody Gibson. Wait and see when we get a hold of Cody. Is Cody available? There he is. Cody Gibson comes home tonight in P3. That Chester Cheetos machine has become iconic here on Green Flag TV. So, Cody, first off, P3, that looked like just a wild ride all night long.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. A lot of good racing, though.
It looked busy out there, beating and banging and rubbing and 3 wide and 4 wide. I hope you guys had as much fun racing it as we did watching it from well up top.
Oh, I did, especially. It was real fun when I got that speeding penalty. I had to go to the back, try to work my way through, just being patient. But, yeah, it was kind of loose off, so when you came towards the wall, you'd get a little loose and hoping the guy underneath you wasn't very close.
A bit of a wild strategy, I have to admit there, but it did seem to work out for you. So next up, we go to Vegas next week here in the High Tide Racing League for the beginning of the round of 8. What are your outlooks, or what is your enjoyment of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway?
Actually, I like Las Vegas, to be honest with you.
Okay, glad to hear that. Awesome to hear. Well, listen, Cody, it was a pleasure watching you race. Congrats on bringing that Cheetos car up on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that is very welcome. That is Cody Gibson coming home in P3. Nolan, that will wrap up tonight's podium interviews.
It sure will, and well, with the points now being finalized, we can take a look at the championship standings exiting tonight. The 8 drivers that are moving in: Jaden Hobb, Christopher Baxter, Wyatt Walker, Connor Gibson, Benjamin Lacey, Jeremiah Hobbs, Dustin Ping, and by 5 points, Michael Thorpe Jr. will be the last one locked in. The 4 drivers sent home here after tonight. Dalton Kilroe, what a tough break. Your driver that won the championship, the defending champion entering this season, knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Things just did not go his way this afternoon. Brian Dees also down and watched with the sidelines alongside Nicholas Corcel and Kevin Foster. A tough break for several drivers that probably deserve to be racing in the round of 8.
Yeah, this is tough. And this is the heartbreak of this format, right? It creates that drama of drivers who are not in, and you can say it's for different reasons, but ultimately, this is how it works out, right? It's disappointing. I mean, Kilroe in 9th, that stands out big. D's in 10th. I mean, Kilroe is someone who just runs this car so often. It's hard to think of a playoff system without Dalton Kilroe in it, but starting next week, that's the reality.
Before we get to all of that, there's still plenty of action yet to come here on Green Flag TV. You've got the OMSRL Gold Series. Myself and Lucas Moody will be out at the Brickyard for their next round of competition. The Premier Sim Racing Expo Truck Series is out once again over on Wednesday night, alongside the Beer League from Circuit of the Americas. You also have the Average Joe Sim Racing League on Thursday nights, alongside the Highline Diecast Collectible Speed Cup Series. Bolts back for more on Friday nights as well. And then SRA will be Lucas Moody and someone else who will bring you all the action for the Gen 4 Cup over on Saturdays. All of this and plenty more action still yet to come here on Green Flag TV over the next little while. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. As always, my name is Little Bempo. Tonight, joined alongside by Derek Watson. We'll see you all next time when we go racing on Green Flag TV.